So, hi and welcome back to Kameratrollet. The topic of today will be about this guy and the photo, or actually it will only be about the photo and the photographer, and not about Donald Trump himself. So, around the photo communities, for example, Facebook or Reddit, have been a lot of talk about the photographer and the equipment he used to take this picture. So, the camera he used was Canon EOS 1DS Mark III, and that camera was released 10 years ago, 2007, so it's pretty old, but it still works really good. And anyway, it seems like a lot of people mocked him because of this, the photographer of course. And I mean, if you don't think a 10 years old camera can make a good, or you can do a good job taking a portrait, then you have no idea about how it works. So it's all about the light. And I will show you with these two cameras I have here. So this camera is the new EOS M5 from 2016, the newest sensor that Canon has released. And this camera is the Canon EOS D30 from 2000, so it's almost 17 years old. And if I'm not wrong, it's the first sensor that Canon produced itself. Before that it was just Kodak sensor they used. And anyway, I will show you the difference between the pictures. The new camera from 2016 and the older one from 2000, so 16 years between them. So for the photo session I used this top model here, Usa-chan, perfect model, and I used single speed light in an octobox, and as you can see on the picture. And the result here, the first picture is from my new Canon EOS M5, and the settings, let's see, the settings are ISO 100, f2.8 and a shutter speed of 160 seconds. And the next picture show you the sample from my D30, and as you can see, it's the same settings, but as you can see, it's quite similar. And maybe if you are a photographer you can see the difference, but I mean, no one else can. So in this picture, also from my Canon EOS M5, I used the same settings, but instead of ISO 100 I used ISO 800 instead. And I changed the flash a little bit instead. Anyway, why I'm using ISO 800 is because the photographer who took the picture of Donald Trump used ISO 640. And 640 didn't exist the time when my D30 was released, at least not in that camera. And you know, in the world of Canon cameras, ISO 640 is the same thing as ISO 800 overexposed 1/3. So it doesn't really matter if I use ISO 800 or ISO 640 because it's the same thing. Anyway, so this is how it looks like. And you can see the next picture, and that is from my D30. And as you can see, you can see the noise in the background, but I mean, it's really easy to remove in my RAW converter, so it's not really a problem. And I mean, if you have enough light, you can go pretty high the scale of ISO. So with those samples I showed you, it doesn't really matter if I'm using the new M5 or the old D30. Of course, it's more fun to use this one because of the latest technology. But I mean, the result can be good with this one too. The only thing is, of course, that this camera has a resolution of 3 megapixels. So if your customer is happy with 3 megapixel, yeah, you can take the portrait with this one, and no one will notice it. So let's talk about the photo again of Donald Trump. So in the picture we can see that the focus is pointed on his eyebrows instead of his eyes, and that tells me that the photographer was in a hurry. He didn't have enough time to take more pictures to get it right on the eyes, and if we take a closer look at the shadows we can see 3 directions, and that tells me that we have 3 light sources, and it also seems like 2 of them were video light, and that will explain the high ISO that the photographer used, and maybe also the blue background. And yeah, I think I'm finished talking about the photo of Donald Trump now, and I also think I made my point clear about it doesn't really matter which camera you use as long as you have good light and good knowledge about the cameras. So yeah, I will say thank you for watching.